First of all, thanks for coming out this morning. It's good to see a lot of faces I haven't seen around the stadium for a couple months. I think there's a lot of excitement in this city about this football team, and really looking forward to getting on the field. Hopefully Mother Nature, as always, cooperates. If you look out the window right now, you'll see a lot of the veterans are already in town, trying to get acclimated to the altitude because it is a difference. Right now, as far as our roster, our overall roster is concerned, I'm pleased with our depth. I think we will have great competition in training camp. Probably the biggest storyline in my mind for training camp is when training camp is completed, how does our ratio, what is our ratio in our football team? And again, I always say I don't make those decisions, the players will make those decisions on the field, but I do know we have options. And I'm looking forward to the players that were seriously injured last year coming back and seeing exactly what their health situation is at this time. All the reports have been good, but until you get them back on the field, you always have a little bit of concern. But we all know that the rookies are arriving tomorrow. We'll be on the field Thursday and Friday for 2 light workouts a day. We just try to basically use that time to teach them the concept. Don't wear them out. So on Sunday when we start things for real with the veterans, they're not out of gas, but they do have an opportunity to learn the system so they can compete at, I'm not saying the same level as the veterans, but they're at a good level so we can get a good evaluation from day one. So having said that, any questions? Remember, I can't hear.
With Johnny Forzani out for a while, are you looking to maybe bring in another Canadian receiver, or are you happy with what you've got?
No, I'm pleased with our stable receivers at this time. And I really don't know when Spencer Armstrong will be showing up. I know that he will at some point in time this year. I'm just not exactly sure because of the procedure, his exit procedure with the Air Force. Yes, Donna?
John, is there a position for you that is a big question mark, or a position that you think is going to be ultra competitive at its own?
Well, I think that has to do with what I'm talking about, the storyline of the ratio. Okay, so yes, I mean, this is a big training camp for Spencer Wilson, a big training camp for Dan Federkamp. So first of all, for Dan to get back on the field and to survive. But also for Spencer, he's going to be given every opportunity to win that job, and we'll see how it turns out.
I take it Brett Jones probably took the school option. Are you still trying to sign him?
Yes. Right now, I believe Brett is packing his car, heading out towards Calgary in the very, very near future. We do have an agreement in principle, and so I expect him here on Thursday morning. It's just not official, Jock, because nothing's been signed. Okay.
With the injury to Forzani and the retirement of R.J. Franklin, do you see an expanded role this year for Anthony Parker?
There's going to be an opportunity for Anthony Parker, no matter if the other 2 occurrences didn't happen. This is Anthony's 3rd year, and he knows that he needs to stay healthy, and when he gets his opportunity to stay on the field. I'm not disappointed with Anthony when he's been on the field. He's a great contributor to the offense. When he's had opportunities to make plays for us, he's done that. Special teams, he's performed admirably on special teams, which our Canadian receivers have to do. Well, almost everybody on our football team has to be part of our special teams package. I recall whether it's his 1st or 2nd year, he's on special teams, and BC tries to do that trick play, and he recognizes it and makes the interception. So, I mean, right then and there, that showed me that this is a savvy football player.
Do you see a battle for the sorry, coach? Do you see a battle for the number 2 spot? Like, Bo Levi, is he gonna, get the reps, the development, or do you have the obviously your depth?
Well, right now, Jock, we're coming in as a 1, 2, 3, 4 pecking order, but Bo will get plenty of opportunity to blossom, and but we still have to make sure that both Drew and Kevin get enough snaps also. That's why you don't want to be overcrowded at the position. So you can give every player an opportunity to succeed. Because I expect all of them to play in the games, obviously except for our CIS quarterback.
John, how is the battle shaping up on the defensive line?
I'm sorry.
On the defensive line, can you talk about the battle for jobs?
The battle, well, I think because of the injuries that we had last year, and then losing Chris McCoy, first question is, how healthy is Kevin Dixon? Okay, I believe he'll be fine, and I expect Kevin to really blossom this year. Cordora Law, who came in late last year to help us win football games. Stevie Baggs, okay, Lord knows how hard he's worked in the offseason. So, we have, I believe, some very, very good prospects, along with the young guys that we've signed from our rookie camp and through our off-season scouting. I think there's good depth there. I think it will be a hard battle. I think it's going to be a very difficult decision also.
And just how are you planning to address the players regarding Twitter and off-field kind of stuff for this year?
Say again, Vicki, I'm sorry.
Twitter?
Twitter?
There were some Twitter problems last year.
I'm not quite sure what you're saying. What exactly is Twitter? I hope by now, not only our football team, but most professional football players, most professional athletes understand the danger of putting things in print that's not well thought out. So obviously we will have a media policy meeting during training camp to reinforce it, as we've always done. But for the last 2 years, we put greater emphasis on it so we do not embarrass this football team.
John, one of the new rules in the CFL this year is more flexibility and timeouts. Is that a big deal to a head coach or just another maneuver? Can you give us a coaching perspective that it is big, or? Yeah,
it is. It's very big, especially with the fact that a lot of the stadiums are very well attended, very noisy crowds, and if you're out early in the second half and you have a quarterback coach communication breakdown because of the noise, or even the microphone may malfunction, you would like the quarterback just to get up to the line of scrimmage and call a play and get it going, but a lot of times, once you realize that the malfunction is happening for whatever reason, there's not even enough time to do that. And if you're down in scoring position, it's a tough call for the quarterback to should I call a timeout, shouldn't I call a timeout? The fact that we can now, if we don't use our first half timeout, call that timeout in the second half before the 3-minute warning, okay, it will still allow me to challenge. And so it's a compound situation is why I like the rule change. Because if I lose my first challenge, I need a timeout to challenge more in the game. If I don't have a timeout, then I don't want to say I'm useless, but it's definitely a weapon I do not want to lose.
John, what's your protocol with Dan Federkill? Do you need him? Are you going to have him once he's passed the physical? Do you have him into contact right away, or are you going to kind of move him along to see how his status?
No, he's passed all the concussion protocol. So right now, Al, and you're probably the better person to talk about it is Dan, but he may be tentative at first, but it will be something that we're not just going to you know, shove him into a helmet-to-helmet contact to see if he can survive it. That's not the plan. So, but he feels good about it, and he's very confident. And the doctors that have examined him are pleased with where he's at.